The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
There was a group of women who used to they had a little group that every time somebody had a child in this group, everybody else would make suppers, lunches, breakfast for that family for the first 2 weeks. This is a thing that was going on for years, a very close-knit friends and everything. Okay. Bekitzer, one woman has a child, and the arranger is calling up all the people and saying, you're going to do Monday, you're going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, etc. You're going to do Shabbos. Oh, I got Shabbos. Yay, chesed. It's not out of my way, for those of you who know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so what happened was, on the day, let's just say it was Tuesday, she called up the lady and she said, so it's your day, I just want to remind you, Tuesday. She says, oh, I forgot to call you, I'm sorry, I will not be able to make the food for the woman who had the baby tonight. I'm not going to be able to. It's like, what do you mean? We planned this out. This is the way it's going, and you said you're doing. You can't really back off now. There's nobody else there. She's not around. She's like, I'm so sorry. I really can't talk about it right now, but I'm not going to be able to do it, and I'm so sorry. Like, you had a baby last year. We did it for you. You got to back out now. She said, I'm really sorry, and she hung up the phone. Now, this organizer over here was taken back. She's like, one second. This is not fair. This is not right. And I don't know what's going on. Now, there's always two ways to look at this. You could try to be down the kafschus at that time, or you could allow your feelings and the pain to be like, whoa, 1 second. Now, again, I'm not taking away from feelings and pain. Again, you have to use your seichel. The most important thing in Judaism is your seichel, so we need to use our seichel. But anyways, this lady didn't know what to do. She figured out another one who could cook the food for them. And unfortunately, there started a little bit of gossip. And after a few days, like this organizer couldn't get it off her chest, and she said, "I'm calling this lady again, and I'm going to point blank ask her, like, it's just not right. What happened? It's not fair. Like, we're all upset at you. We're all judging you. Like, now we're speaking Lashon Hara about you. Just, it's like, why did you do this? Why couldn't you just pull through? It's like pasta. Like, it's not such a big deal to make pasta." So anyway, she calls her up and she says, "I'm so sorry to put you on the spot like this, but please tell me what is going on." She said, "Okay." She said, "I'm really sorry, but the morning that you called me to make the food, I had a miscarriage. And it was a very, very painful one. It was not a regular thing. The doctor said I cannot do anything. I can't even cook pasta." And I was like all hurt and a lot of pain. My emotions were flowing. My feelings were flowing. And I really just didn't... I didn't want to talk to you about it. I didn't even speak to my husband about it yet. It was like a lot of hard stuff, and you called me right on the spot, and you're like, "You're making food. What's going on?" I'm like, I really just couldn't talk about it. And I'm really sorry that I couldn't pull through, but it wasn't negeya. Now, what do you think the reaction of that lady was? "We'll be making food for you for the next week, apparently." Right? She was so hurt. Like, why couldn't I just think? Why wasn't I down the kafschus that maybe, just maybe, there's something I don't know? Maybe there's something that happened that she just doesn't want to talk about it, and she can't. If it was my daughter, and my daughter called me up and said, I just can't, I'll be like, you know what? No problem. Like all parents, we'll cover for you. Here's the check, Because that's what parents do. That's what friends do. That's what love does. If we just would have been down the kafschus, everything would have changed. And now there wouldn't have been Lashon Hara. And there wouldn't have been all those feelings for this person, because this person was going through a whole crazy thing herself. Down the kafschus, it takes 1 second. Think, is there any chance that anything happened in this person's life that perhaps she's in pain right now and she can't? How many times in all of your lives did something come up later on that you found out, you're like, oh, if I only would have known that would have been different, Anyways, there's a group of girls and they had a chat. And on the chat, one night, one of the girls wrote something on the chat that was a little bit inappropriate and whatever. And the whatever you call it, the organizer, the head of this group, was very upset at her, and like she sort of kicked her off the chat. And there was a lot of back and forth and talking and this and that and why, when, where, how. Bekitzer, it came out at the end of the story that it wasn't this girl. The girl's brother took the phone in a moment of anger at the sister for stealing his brush. Why'd he have a brush? Nobody knows. That's also not really part of the story. I'm just making that up. It wasn't the brush. I don't know what it was. But he ended up taking her phone and wrote something on the chat that he knew they would all be upset at her about. And it turns out it wasn't her. But she was all embarrassed to say what happened. So it ended up being really bad. She was kicked off the chat, and until everybody found out what happened, it was like a lot of pain. A lot of tears for no reason. Sometimes, all we need to do is think before we judge. Don't even judge, all right? Don't even judge. But if you're judging because you're human, think before you judge. You don't know. You don't know the story. You really don't know the story.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org